Hello everyone, I am Stygian Rakshasa, and welcome back to my Tomb Raider Legend playthrough. Today we're going to be playing through the second level of the game, Peru. I have about 20 minutes of gameplay footage to commentate over, so there's definitely a lot of things I can discuss in this episode. I've also modded Lara to resemble how she looks in Tomb Raider Underworld, simply because I think the color palette of that outfit suits this level, and just personally, I think her design in Tomb Raider Underworld is phenomenal. I think it's basically the Legend outfit refined and perfected, and I just love that. I love the earthy brown tones mixed with the black accents. I just love the way she looks in Underworld overall, so that's me and my 2 cents. At the beginning of this level, we actually have a training dummy that we can practice our moves on. The game will actually provide you tips and like a tutorial bar at the upper right hand corner, as you can see. And yeah, it's a nice way to just practice your moves if you haven't known all of the, I guess, mechanics of the game up until this point, because it is only the second level. Definitely won't teach you how to do those stylish somersaults, though. That is actually quite tricky to do on PC because it's, well, on a laptop with these fucking keys everywhere, and I have like these large ass fucking hands. Well, they're like anime hands, you know, very slender. I've been told they look like a witch or something. I'm going on a tangent here. Please don't mind me. Regardless, Lara's meeting her friend and I in this courtyard, and basically she gets swarmed by Rutland's men here. Something I'm not a stranger to is being swarmed by a bunch of men, so we handle them with minimal effort. However, before I go and deal with the prick and the shotgun on the upper balcony, I have to actually grab this bronze reward up on these ledges. Yeah, there's a lot of secrets in this level, or rewards as they're called, but it's not exactly hard. There's only about 3 that are quite easily missable. This is if you don't scavenge the entire area. If you're looking for these rewards, I feel like you can find them most of the time in a blind playthrough, because I've actually watched blind playthroughs of this game, and sometimes they find decently hidden rewards. You just have to look, you know? However, if you're using my video as a reference to find these rewards, you are very good, and I appreciate that. But at the same time, this game is 15 years old, so I don't exactly. I wouldn't expect that. I would hope that the people watching this are just fans of Tomb Raider and are happy to watch someone else play it. I try to give a unique perspective. I want these commentary videos to be informative, but relatively relaxed. I'm not, and they're unscripted, by the way. I have no script to go off of. Anyway, in the previous section, I don't bother with the mercenaries. Just roll your way through. You can actually skip a trigger that actually spawns some of the enemies, but I didn't get it. Now we're actually at the bike section, so this, oh, as a child, I absolutely adored this because I loved motorbikes when I was younger, and I still do. I'm only 19, but I have to get my motorbike. Maybe, I can get a Ducati, maybe. It's good to set your standards high. But basically, we are following Anaya because she's getting pursued by Rutland's men. We're trying to catch up with them before they actually get a chance to kill her. If you actually make Lara brake and stop the bike, a certain amount of time will go by and Anaya will just be killed and you'll just get a game over screen. Zip will actually kind of nag you to go on and continue, put the gas, or was it put the pedal to the metal? Whatever the fuck it's called. I actually can't remember the saying. But basically you have to go catch up, and if you don't catch up, Anaya will be killed off screen. Another thing about this bike minigame is that I don't think the developers really considered it. I don't think they designed this minigame for the hardest difficulty, which is what I'm currently playing on. Because as you can see there, that shotgun uh, did about a quarter of my health. It just completely vanquished my life bar. And it is very, very difficult to get through the section without dying. And as a challenge to myself, I want to get through this game with zero deaths if I can. Now, I'm not going for like a proven live, I guess, recording because I mean, I actually paused the game several times. I think I was distracted. I actually had to go do something. So I paused the game. I think at two sections in this level. I think it's actually coming up here. I actually make her stop just so you can kind of see what happens if you make Lara stop. Zip is kind of having a fit on the other end of the line, and yeah, it's just quite funny. So I thought I'd feature that. But yeah, another aspect about this is that you can easily run into the rock, as you can see there. The rocks that spawn, because the way this whole section works is actually you have to kill the enemies. You go through this path infinitely, and there's basically just assets constantly being spawned, like ramps and debris, like those boxes, and rocks, and it will just continuously go on and on and on until you kill all the mercenaries on their bikes. It's quite clever in a way, because you wouldn't really notice it unless you were going out of your way to not attack the enemies, which, I mean, why the fuck would you do that? But it's interesting. And another thing about this section is the music. Because when I think of this game, if I close my eyes and think of this game, I often think of this track specifically. I have such an attachment to this track, the electronic sound of it with the vocals, the beautiful female vocals. It's just, I can see how this game inspired my music taste because I have a diverse interest in music. I would consider myself eclectic, but the electronica, almost dark electronica, not this track, but just the game's soundtrack in general, I just love it. I mean, I'm a big fan of Juno Reactor and Infected Mushroom, and it definitely makes sense why I like those guys because I grew up with a game like this with its soundtrack. I think Trolls Fallman did an amazing job with this game's soundtrack, and I definitely tip my hat to him. But yeah, that's that section finished. Lara's belt is kind of glitching out there if you didn't notice. This is the flashback sequence. It's very, very short, but I do like it. Just from a casual standpoint, when I first played it, I really liked this because you can light flares. I kind of wish they made their way into the main game, but they didn't. Mostly because I guess Lara has her portable flashlight attached to her I think it's her backpack or her shoulder, so there's not really a point. I just like them because I like the flares because it reminds me of the classic Tomb Raider games, but I guess the girl has to upgrade her arsenal. I mean, it wouldn't be convenient to be storing 50 flares in your backpack, but then again, her backpack is known to be limitless, you know. She can fit her mansion in that backpack, to be honest with you. Another thing I'm actually highlighting here is Sarah's face, the girl there that's killed on the ground. Her face on the PC version is completely fucked. The polygons in her face are just gone. So I guess the force monster that we're actually about to see probably, I don't know, really had a go with her and ripped the polygons out of her face, which is quite funny. Now we're actually having a quick conversation with one of Lara's friends. Looks like the fucking fat guy from the comic book store in The Simpsons, you know? That's what he always reminded me of when I was younger. Fucking greasy. But yeah, the section is very linear, but it's supposed to be because it's just a flashback sequence. We're actually going to encounter the Force monster now. And speaking of the Force monster, I really, really like the Force monster in this game because its design reminds me of like an enemy in Devil May Cry. The whole thing looks like it was just extracted from Devil May Cry 3 or something. But I do like it. It's very menacing. And I love this camera angle. There's not a whole lot of this in the game, but you actually are seeing Lara from the perspective of the monster, and it kind of, you have no control over the camera. It's fixed, but it's really, I really like that. I wish they did more things like that in the game. But I guess when they do happen, it makes it stand out, so you kind of panic more, I guess. You have to place this boulder on this pressure plate to activate the trap, or what remains of the trap. We're actually using one of the spikes to swing onto another ledge. Amanda, however, is going to announce what happened to us through the gate, and we'll see Amanda in just a second after we swing over here, but I find it interesting how this version of Lara had this whole college experience, you know. When I studied European history and archaeology, I didn't unfortunately have such an eventful experience. I didn't get attacked by any demonic forces or, you know, nearly lost my life in some tomb, but hey, I had a good time regardless. I skipped the cinematic, but you actually get to see Amanda remove the Wraith Stone from that, what was it, like, I guess a tablet of sorts? If you haven't noticed, or at least as I'm recording this video or when I upload this video, I actually have Amanda's Wraith Stone as my profile picture. I've actually edited it. I just like the gothic dark look of the skull, and the render that I downloaded actually has the stones in the Wraithstone because there's like more, or like gems, I guess. Gems are like a beautiful color, and I just love the way it looks. So there's not much else to it. I mean, I just like the way it looks. The Tomb Raider Ricky doesn't really describe anything about the Wraithstone aside from the fact that Amanda uses it as a kind of conduit to summon the Force monster that we saw in the flashback, but we're not supposed to know that yet, so I'll be quiet. But yeah. This is a simple excuse me, it's a simple swimming sequence. We have to activate 4 switches in this room to activate the cistern and drain the water. So there's not much to really say. I did say previously that I studied European history and mythology and folklore, and you can definitely say growing up with Tomb Raider inspired that. It really inspired that because I honestly I did really well. I can kind of say this proudly, but I got a distinction in every single subject when I studied that. So I'm definitely interested in history and ancient cultures. This game really instilled an interest of that in me. So I'm happy that I kind of played Tomb Raider in a way. As life continues on, and with the way the world is at the moment with the pandemic, I actually don't really know where I stand academically anymore. I'm trying to find purpose in that aspect, but it's really hard. But I think that's normal at this age, and it is hard. You do go back and forth with what you want to pursue and what you don't want to pursue. However, this is a playthrough. This isn't a therapy session. So excuse me going on, but just to get back to that point briefly, I do enjoy everything Tomb Raider has to offer when it comes to the mythology and the imagery and just the way it depicts ancient cultures, and I think that definitely made me interested in those things since I played it as a child. Here we are at the main tomb of the level. It's a very simple puzzle. In a way, it's kind of a copy and pasted version of the one in Bolivia because instead of spheres, or excuse me, instead of crates, they're spheres or boulders that you have to put on these pressure plates. Except each time you put one boulder on a pressure plate, it will, I guess, it will activate this statue that, when opened, projects these laser beams from its lights. How trippy! It looks really cool though, but it's as simple as that. The one to my right here actually has the third boulder that we need. You just have to simply climb up, drop it down, and then place it on the centerpiece, the center pressure plate, and that's really it. There's not really much else to say. The puzzles will get I don't know why the hell she missed the ledge there. Oh my goodness. But the puzzles will get a little bit more sophisticated. The second last level, Nepal, has a really good puzzle. Even if some of the solutions are simple, I like how it doesn't specifically tell you to, except for this one where Zip says, "Oh, Lara, maybe you should use the rad mode on your binoculars." Because as I explained in the previous episode, that will basically highlight and show if objects are movable or if they can be grappled or if they can be destroyed, etc. But we're experienced here. We don't need that shit to solve these puzzles. They're simple. I mean, if I could do this thing when I was 6, I mean, come on. Anyone can. But then again, I've watched some playthroughs where people just haven't got a fucking clue, and it is a bit cringy to watch, I'm not gonna lie. I play a little bit of this cutscene just for myself because I adore how the queen looks through this crystal here. I remember loving this. Look at how I think Lara herself says, "Oh my goodness, she's beautiful," because she is. I just think the way this looks. I don't know how to explain it. The crystal, and it just looks really cool. We'll see a similar crystal and a similar, I guess. I guess what would you say? It's like a corpse behind the crystal. We'll see. You'll see it later on. It's a few levels away, but we'll see that. This was the second part where I took a little break. I had to. What did I have to do? Oh, right. I had to answer the door. There was a delivery for myself, so don't mind me taking a little pause there. Before we exit this whole place, we actually have to get the gold reward, which is, I would say it's well hidden. For what I mean, basically, this is where you get it. You just, instead of going onto that obvious platform there and going out of the tomb, um, we're actually going to swing to this ledge right here, and we're going to grab it. And this will basically lead you along a path to get a fourth boulder that you can place on the center pressure plate. I guess that's kind of the most hidden part, is actually what to do with the boulder. You just put it on the center pressure plate and it will, well, you'll see what it does, but the statue that we raised in the center, with the laser beams being projected onto it, we're actually going to raise it even higher and it will actually reveal the gold reward. Simply gonna make our way back down. Here I was like, wait, where the fuck is it? Because I'm blind, but it's actually in the corner. Normally it rolls along the ground a bit, but didn't want to do that today. Hopefully my gameplay isn't too messy. I don't think it's messy. It's just I'm playing a large a large part of this game is just being played out of my memory, to be honest, because I've only installed the game I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago. So I'm very much playing it out of my memory, but I think I'm doing a fairly decent job regardless. I hope so. I'm sure if you're watching, you can let me know. I'm definitely not speedrunning the goddamn game, but hey. However, with the classic games, I feel like they are a lot more fun to speedrun because I have actually speedrun specifically Tomb Raider 1 and Tomb Raider Chronicles. I used to kind of speedrun casually when I was younger. I think just watching classic Tomb Raider speedruns, it's just a whole lot more technical. There's a lot more preparation and skill involved with speedrunning the classic Tomb Raider games. And then you compare it to Anniversary and Legends, where you're literally doing an airwalk glitch and voiding through walls. That's literally all it is. I think a casual gamer can speed run these games successfully because it really, of course, we have to utilize glitches to maximize the speed in which we can complete these games, but obviously in Legends case and in Anniversary's case, it breaks the game. So it's literally just voiding and walking through walls. That's all it is. You skip all the enemy encounters except for the bosses, and that's really it. You skip the puzzles for the most part. You skip everything. So I don't think that's fun in my opinion. There's some people who get like a kick out of it, but I don't know. Speedrunners are weird. I'm not gonna lie. Like there's like people who dedicate their lives to speedrunning, and I'm not being judgmental, but it's a specific kind of person that does that kind of thing. When you're a child and you have time on your hands, of course, but I don't know. Who am I to judge? If you're happy speedrunning, then good for you, you know. But it's a specific type of person I feel that speedruns. What do you guys think? We're approaching the end game here. Or I said that in the end level, the end of the level, not the end game. My God, it'd be the shortest game in the planet if that was the case. We just have to kill all these mercenaries. I actually do a little glitch here that I remember from when I was younger. If you roll up against this hill, side roll, you'll actually get up here when you're not supposed to. And I guess it lets you kill the enemy a bit quicker. I do remember this glitch, and I think it's funny. And I think speedrunners actually do that as well, ironically. So just so they can kill that guy a bit quicker. But yeah, after every guy or every mercenary is defeated, it's the end of the level. That was a long ass commentary session, but I enjoyed it, and I hope you guys did as well. So if you made it to the end, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the Japan level. Bye.